The ultimate guide to the Manhattan Beach sand section, pros, cons, and home prices. In our last video, we covered a bird's eye view of what it's like to live in Manhattan Beach. And today, we're zooming in. We're starting with the neighborhood that defines the city of Manhattan Beach. That's right, we're starting with the sand section. This is the lifestyle that people think of and dream of when they're moving to Southern California. But what is it really like to live in the sand section? What does it mean to live on a walk street? Or live on the Strand? Or even what the difference between living above or below Highland is? And most importantly, what does it cost to buy a home steps from the beach? I'm going to give you a complete locals guide and breakdown of what it means to live in the sand section, the different neighborhoods, the different property types, the different micro neighborhoods, the pros, the cons, and the price tags. First, you have to understand the mindset. The sand section means that the beach isn't just somewhere you visit. It's your front yard, it's your backyard, it's your gym, it's your pool, and it's your social club. The key word here is walkability. This is one of the only places in Los Angeles where you can genuinely leave your car for days at a time. You can walk to the beach, you can walk to the restaurant, you can walk to the grocery store, you can walk to the coffee shop, and you can walk to Grandview Elementary School or Pacific Elementary School or Robinson Elementary School. You can walk to any of the shops, and of course, you can walk to the famous Manhattan Beach Pier. What's the trade-off? Well, you're giving up space. It's the densest part of Manhattan Beach. The lots are small, typically just about 2,700 square feet. So you get to know your neighbors very well. The yards are small, so it's very common to see people just walking by your house. The lifestyle is about living outdoors, not just being tucked away in a private backyard. Although a top-level deck can help feel like you have a backyard with a better view. Now, not all of the sand section is the same. In fact, there are 3 micro neighborhoods inside of the sand section. And it's important to understand the distinct differences of each of these micro neighborhoods because they offer different living experiences. There's Manhattan Beach. This area does not have another name. Some might call it South Manhattan, but it does stretch north of the pier. Generally speaking, it's the part of the sand section that people think of when they think of the sand section. And it's the part of the sand section that people think of when they think of Manhattan Beach. If you look on Google Maps, the name of the city actually sits there. Now, this is the main part of the sand section. It's either side of downtown. It essentially runs from the south border with Hermosa Beach and goes all the way up to Bruce's Beach. And for those of you that haven't figured it out yet, it's about 26th Street. It's the most walkable part of Manhattan Beach. It's walking distance to downtown Manhattan Beach. The Vaughn's grocery store, the Metlocks, it's a shopping mall with a bunch of little restaurants like Nick's, a hotel like the Shade, and even one of the nicest hotels in Manhattan Beach, the Shade Hotel. Tons of restaurants like the Strand House, MB Post, and of course, my wife and my favorite sushi restaurant is Zakeya by Katsuya. Not to mention tons of bars and the Manhattan Beach Pier. This is the most dense part of Manhattan Beach, not just by the amount of homes that are there, but the amount of people that center here. It's where tourists go to see Manhattan Beach. It's where the Manhattan Beach Open is. It's where a ton of other volleyball tournaments are. The social scene in Manhattan Beach centers around the pier, and this is the neighborhood that surrounds it. Then we move a little bit north, and we move into North Manhattan. If you're thinking about moving to Manhattan Beach and you want to live so close to the beach that you can walk to it by falling out your front door, but you don't want all of the crowds that you would get by the pier, North Manhattan is the spot for you. North Manhattan is the area between Bruce's Beach and El Porto. Why is it less crowded? Well, it's blocked on the backside by Sand Dune Park, which means that Highland is the only way in or out of it, and it stops that east-west traffic flow. There's also a lot less parking in this area. There's only one main parking lot, and that's at Bruce's Beach. Now, personally speaking, this is my favorite micro neighborhood of the sand section because you get all of the benefits of the sand section with a fraction of the crowds. It's also really easy to get in and out of I personally do a lot of business on the west side, Marina del Rey, Venice, Santa Monica, Playa Vista, and Playa del Rey. So for me, it's really easy to get to these locations from North Manhattan. And if you're going to see me at the beach, odds are you're going to see me in this part of Manhattan Beach. And last but not least is El Porto. El Porto might as well be its own city. It has the highest concentration of apartments in Manhattan Beach. It has the best surf, and it has Manhattan Beach's only traditional surf shop. Can you guess the name? It's El Porto Surf Shop. El Porto is a vibe. It's commuter friendly. It's almost as walkable as downtown Manhattan Beach, and it still has that small beach town feel. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. El Porto is packed with restaurants, shops, eateries, coffee shops, bars, boutiques, and more. I'll name a few for you. Two Guns Coffee, Pancho's Mexican Restaurant, Nawa Thai, try their crab pad thai, it's amazing. Sharky's Manhattan Beach, and OB's. They have an amazing Taco Tuesday and really good buffalo wings. El Porto basically starts at 38th Street in Manhattan Beach and goes all the way to 45th Street, which is the northern border with El Segundo. Living here will cut your drive time by 10 to 15 minutes. It's also a very short drive to the Manhattan Village Mall, Ralph's Grocery Store, CVS Pharmacy, and Manhattan Beach's only Tesla superchargers. And this is where you'll find me when the waves are good. What it costs to live in the sand section. Okay, let's talk numbers. This is arguably the most expensive part of Manhattan Beach, which is arguably one of the most expensive parts of Los Angeles. Now, the sand section itself boasts the highest price per square foot in the entire city of Manhattan Beach. Based on the latest data from September and October, the median sales price for a home in the sand section of Manhattan Beach is hovering around $3,800,000, and the median price per square foot is hovering around $1,680 per square foot. Now let's break it down by the micro neighborhoods. El Porto is the most affordable area of the sand section. Now the lots here can be even smaller, and you'll find more original beach cottages and duplexes. And it's not as developed as other parts of the sand section, but it is one of Los Angeles's most famous surf spots, which makes it one of the busier areas of Manhattan Beach because it's also a gateway into the city. But by most affordable, that might be misleading. The entry point into El Porto is around a $2 million condo, townhouse, or small home. And with only 2 bedrooms, that's about $1 million a bedroom. Now let's talk about the walk streets. The walk streets are peppered from North Manhattan to downtown Manhattan to South Manhattan. Now these are my favorite part of the sand section. The walk streets get their names because they're pedestrian only. You cannot drive a car down them. And they run anywhere from Valley all the way down to the beach. But most of them are between Highland Avenue and the beach. For these homes, your garage sits on the back alley, and your front door opens up into a shared park-like walkway. It creates an incredible old-school sense of community. And the walk streets are famous locally for having some of the best candy and the best decorations on Halloween. There's one section south of the Pier at the top between Highland and Valley Avenue that has flat walk streets. And these are some of the most desirable homes in the entire city. They're very festive and they decorate for most holidays. But it's the sloped section that get the best views. Depending on how your hill is sloped and which part of Manhattan Beach you're in, you could be looking at everything from Malibu to Palos Verdes. Watching the sunset over Catalina is amazing, especially when you're eating dinner while you do it. It's these kinds of ocean views that make the sand section so famous. For a newer single-family home on a walk street, you're typically looking in the $4 million to $9 million range, depending on size, view, and finishes. And last but not least, there's the Strand. The Strand is the crown jewel of Manhattan Beach. These are front row waterfront properties, and they sit directly on the walking path and bike paths that border the beach. This is as good as it gets. You have unblockable panoramic views of the ocean. You can see everything from Palos Verdes and Catalina to Malibu. It is also the most public facing. The walking path that this part gets its name from sits right on your back porch. The reality is, this is for buyers who want that wow factor. These are trophy properties. A condo on the Strand starts at around $6 million, and it goes way up from there. We saw a property sell for $24 million, and that held the record until Luka Doncic bought Marina Sharapova's house for $25 million. Now that we've talked about prices, let's talk about pros and cons, because we know it's not for everybody. The pros, obviously, the lifestyle is unbeatable. Your steps from the ocean, you can walk practically everywhere. The community vibe is incredible, especially on the walk streets and in El Porto. And you're walking distance to top-rated schools like Robinson Elementary School, Pacific Elementary School, and Grandview Elementary School. But the cons are very real. First, parking is a nightmare. I'm not exaggerating. In the summer, you could drive around for hours trying to find a parking space. You're better off going east, parking, and walking down, because most of these homes have little 2-car or 3-car garages. So if you're throwing a party, where's everybody else going to park with all the beach traffic? So this is something you'll have to plan for. Second, the lots are tiny. You have almost no yard. Your outside living space is the beach, the walk street, and an upper deck. And third, the crowd. These are where tourists come. This is where people come when they want to go to the beach. So you're sharing your neighborhood with everybody who's visiting. So here's the bottom line. The Sand section is an A+ location for buyers looking for lifestyle, walkability, ocean access, and above all else, is willing to trade space, privacy, and parking to get it. It is by far one of the most special places to live in the world. But maybe you want something a little more family friendly. Maybe something a little more laid back. Maybe something with a little less traffic. And of course, something with a backyard. In our next video, we're gonna head a little east. We're going to explore a neighborhood that's famous for its tree-lined streets, its charming houses, and its walk-to-school vibe to 2 of the top-ranked elementary schools in the country. That's right, we're gonna go to the tree section. So if you're trying to decide between the beach and a backyard, you won't want to miss this one. So hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you can be the first to see when we publish that video. And for all my Sand section locals and dreamers, comment below with your favorite aspect about the neighborhood, your favorite restaurant, or your favorite coffee shop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one when we're walking through the trees.